welcome to my channel. I'm Zoe, and today I am going to just simply read you some poetry. I have my 3 favorite poetry books here in front of me, and I marked off some of my favorite poems. I'm just going to read them to you. Create a nice little safe, quiet, peaceful resting place. And because it's just what I felt like doing today. So, I hope that you enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it. This is called Chameleon Aura by Billy Chapata. Red herring. Understand that not everyone will want to or will be able to meet you halfway, and that's fine. It's a good omen. It's a beautiful sign. Not everyone is meant to meet you halfway, because the universe wants to leave room for someone who actually deserves you to reach you. Lack of reciprocation is never an indication of your worth. Your spirit guides are always working in your favor, blocking unneeded energies. Let the connection flow or embrace the lack of waves. Everything will happen in the way it's supposed to. Never force what doesn't make sense. I promise you, those who are meant to find a way to you always will. For now, concern yourself with being there for yourself in full. Sacred exchanges. Connections that are filled with effort but don't feel like work. Connections that require energy but never leave you on empty. Magic. Effort should never feel draining. Exchanging energy should never feel exhausting. Separate from anything that separates you from yourself. Never feel guilty for distancing yourself from what they want and gravitating towards what you need. Self-love is just as important as empathy. Courage. I've been learning recently that it takes a lot of courage to be honest with yourself. To take sips of truth, no matter how bitter it may taste, or how uncomfortable it may feel. To dive into the truth, no matter how violent the waves may be, or how deep it may appear. To look the truth deep in the eyes, no matter how daunting it may be or how scary it may seem. Of course, the people you love deserve authenticity. The people you care about deserve sincerity. But you are deserving as well. You are deserving of the honesty you give others. You are deserving of the peace that comes with the truth. But sometimes that peace only comes when you confront those inner demons that you've been hiding from for so long. When you stop focusing on the honesty others deserve, start focusing on the honesty you deserve and your inner child deserve. It's easier to tell others the truth and harder to be truthful with yourself. I've been learning recently that it takes a lot of courage to be honest with yourself. A letter to the person I was. I understand why you moved through life the way you did, why you navigated through the waves like a ship on the brink of sinking, why you tiptoed across paths like there was hot charcoal beneath your feet. I understand why you felt as if the way you moved would dictate the way others moved around you. You thought you understood self-love. How naive you were. To think that self-love was a thing that you just mastered overnight. To think that self-love was something as simple as uttering the words, "I love myself." But self-love is much deeper than that, much more intricate. Self-love is a journey that requires you to show up in your fullest entirety, naked, open, flawed. Every day requires you to be available for yourself, because some days no one else will be available for you. So instead of seeking so much outward, seek more within yourself. There's a gold mine that exists within you that only you can reach. Never let anyone dig that out. You'll slip up on some days, and you'll forget how smooth it feels to soak in self-love. But take time learning how to love yourself. This isn't a race. That was Chameleon Aura by Billy Chapata. The next book I'm going to be reading from is You Better Be Lightening by Andrea Gibson. Note to the stranger 6 feet away. There was never not a bridge from your chest to mine. My heartbeat was always the sound of your feet walking toward me. I can't believe how many years I lived without knowing the air you were breathing out was the air I was breathing in. Forgive me for not saying thank you before our lungs had reason to hide. Do you pray more now than you used to? I pray all the time. I pray to the big bang and to the tiny bang and to all the bangs we'll all have to cut ourselves so we can see what beauty can only be seen from 6 feet away. A giraffe's neck is 6 feet long. Decades from now, will I remember the week I spent wondering if I could hug a giraffe's torso and not get sick if the giraffe coughed? I don't want to forget anything about this, especially not how it feels to worry about everyone I love at the same time. So much of the world had been doing that already. If every heart-worthy novelist weeps for days before killing off a beloved character, God must have spent centuries sobbing before pressing the pen to the page of this year. Instead of depression, try calling it hibernation. Imagine the darkness is a cave in which you will be nurtured by doing absolutely nothing. Hibernating animals don't even dream. It's okay if you can't imagine spring. Sleep through the alarm of the world. Name the hopelessness, a quiet hollow, a place you go to heal, a den you dug, sweetheart, instead of a grave. To whom it definitely concerns. Please accept this letter as formal notification that I am resigning from the position of my own worst enemy. I've appreciated the opportunity to lower my standards so far they could win a limbo contest against a crumb. I have been honored to serve as the server at the banquet where I eat myself alive. The day I was hired, I could never have imagined how many Employee of the Month plaques I'd acquire from breaking the standing record of standing in my own way. In this position, I've grown continuously, like bacteria in a staph infection. I had no idea that holding myself back would be contagious. I would like to have a different kind of impact on the future company I keep. The scene I made during our last team building exercise woke me and the need for change. I know the young people in the office are still shaken by my refusal to catch myself in the trust fall. I apologize for that gory display. Moving forward, I'll be pursuing opportunities in another field, preferably one where break rooms are for resting and not for breaking promises to the person I hope to become. I fully intend to replace whatever dreams I shattered while I was beating myself up. I have no idea where I learned punching in was a literal term. If I had known better, I would have called in sick in the head. I accepted this position initially because I believed it came with the very best insurance plan. How could I fall to my death from the ground floor? Over the years, however, I've gotten increasingly familiar with the fine print of the benefits. Turns out, there are no benefits when the copay is your life. I understand it's customary to give 2 weeks' notice, but I've only got 2 minutes. And in those minutes, I will 1. Fire my inner critic, or at least demote it to part-time. 2. Assure my passions have the tools they need to unionize with my actions. 3. Sit naked on the photocopy machine so there are 100 copies of my ass to kiss when I'm gone. Though I suspect it won't bode well for acquiring a positive referral later, it's important to state that I am unwilling to train a replacement in this position. It is my suggestion that the job be eliminated altogether and that no further person take on the task. If I can aid in the transition, please let me know. Sincere. Aliens explain why they are visiting Earth. Because your leaders move their fingers over buttons of bombs, as if they are piano keys, as if they could make a symphony of playing chords around your child's necks, because if the heat of the earth is in Arizona, the Grand Canyon is proof of how badly it is breaking, because we want to pace your border towns and teach families the physics of walking through walls, because we don't understand why you believe hell is beneath you. Also, because we want to hear old men play Vivaldi in subway stations in Queens. Because we want to watch skateboarders in Berlin carve the streets into statues of themselves. Because we know kids in New Orleans glue bottle caps on their soles of their shoes and tap dance in Jackson Square. Because we've never seen anything like that anywhere. We have so many questions. Why do you fly saucers from the coffee table into the living room wall and insist your sadness doesn't exist? And how come you believe that hating yourself would protect you from other people's hate? What do you mean when you say your hearts melt? Are they like glaciers? Can one person die and drown the whole world? Is it what Jesus did when he meant to do the opposite? We are visiting from so far away, we thought it was the furthest one could go until we saw the distance. Between two lovers who had shared the same bed for 4 decades, we are trying to make sense of the light years it takes to get from one side of the dinner table to another. When you have buried someone in the dirt you think they have on you, to be human, it seems, is to know your true self only as well as you know a galaxy you've never been to. We came here to help you get there. That was You Better Be Lightning by Andrea Gibson. I really love this author. This book is called Clarity and Connection. The author is Yung Pueblo. One of the most important qualities to develop in life is determination. At some point, you just have to put your foot down and say, I am going to move in this new direction, and no person or situation is going to stop me. Great transformations need a beginning. Attributes of a good friend. They feel like home. They are honest with you. They remind you of your power. They support you in your healing. They have a revitalizing presence. They hold a vision of your success. They support you in new adventures. They lift you up with joy and laughter. They bring out the best version of you. Too often, we keep our expectations to ourselves, or we only partially hint at what we want. We do not realize that we would be better off exploring the ways we wish to be supported through clear communication. When we are straightforward with others about what we need to feel safe and loved, we give them an opportunity to show up for us. We are all different. Even when we share a clear connection that we can build on, we still need to learn one another's likes, dislikes, strengths, past emotional struggles, and reactive patterns. Communicating our needs, desires, and personal emotional history gives both people the information they need to understand each other and the opportunity to feel the natural volition to commit and say, these are the areas where I can do my best to meet you, and this is how I can try my best to show up for you. In this way, we transform our private expectations into opportunities for commitment. The goal is not to heal and then begin your life. The goal is to embrace healing as a lifelong journey and allow genuine connections to emerge organically along the way. When in doubt, remember you have the power to say no, the authenticity to be you, the patience to keep learning, the fortitude to continue trying, the courage to embrace change, the fearlessness to give selflessly, the wisdom to cultivate inner peace, the bravery to fulfill your aspirations, the openness that grows friendships, the awareness to follow your intuition, the intelligence not to repeat the past. Do not expect perfection from yourself, even if you have done a great amount of internal work. Progress is acting intentionally more often than you act blindly, and not punishing yourself because you still have room to grow. Allow mistakes to peacefully inform your growth and learning process. And that was Clarity and Connection by Yung Pueblo. those are the 3 books that I wanted to read from today for you. Chameleon Aura, You Better Be Lightening, and Clarity and Connection. I hope that you enjoyed, and thank you so much for being here and joining me in this space. Drop a like, it really helps. Leave a comment about what your favorite poem was, or maybe if you have any suggestions for other poetry books, I would love to hear them. And I post videos every Sunday, so I hope that you have a lovely, peaceful, warm week filled with self-love, and thank you for being just as you are. I love you. I'll see you next Sunday. Goodbye.